Hello, welcome to The View from Felaban. We've just concluded a panel discussion on the implications of the current macroeconomic situation on Latin America, and I'm here joined by my fellow panelists who were on stage with me just a few minutes ago. So we have Juan Ruiz, Chief Economist for South America for BBVA, Javier Finkman, Chief Economist South America for HSBC, and Ricardo Babsuk, who is the Chief Economist of the Banco de Inversion y Comercio Exterior. So thank you all for being with me. What were the key points that you took away from our panel discussion, and what are the main concerns that you have at the moment when looking at Latin America? Juan, from you.
Well, I would say in a nutshell, I would say we're seeing a turning point in terms of growth in Latin America. It's going to be slow, it's going to be gradual. We would like to see it being stronger, but it's a first positive sign. Concerns, I think, is a turnaround with still big risks in terms of global economy risks and internal risk also in Latin America.
And of course, we are recording this the day before the US presidential elections will take place, so perhaps some political risk may dive down or maybe intensify depending on the results, and we'll find this out in 2 days. So we'll find out the result in 2 days and the fate that Latin America will have as a consequence of this. Javier, you focused on Brazil and Argentina. What are the key points that people looking at Latin America should be aware of?
Well, these economies are adjusting to a negative external shock. As usual, the adjustment goes partially through lower activity, partially through weaker currencies, and then what is required is some fiscal consolidation and reforms. Of course, because of politics, because political conditioning, part of this adjustment is going to be slow, gradual, aligned with the global recovery in terms of gradualism. And that is the main risk. How do you finance this transition throughout this process?
Great, thank you. And you also pointed out some very interesting elements of what the current government in Argentina is doing that will have an impact on the banking sector and financial markets penetration here. Ricardo, so you talked about the implications of the current macroeconomic situations globally on the banking system. So tell us a bit more about that.
That's right. Well, my take is that we are living in an era of lower growth, higher, low and negative interest rate in many countries, and higher uncertainty. And I wanted to see how that impacted the banking system. My main conclusion was that the system was resilient enough to these new economic conditions. In particular, the system was able to continue growing in the aftermath of the crisis, and also has been displaying good indicators of solvency in terms of capital, bad loans, and others. So all in all, I'm very optimistic about the future of the banking system in the region, and we don't have major reasons to be concerned about the banking industry.
Okay, so I think that's all of the three presentations that you talked about earlier were positive, so relatively positive. So 2017 possibly an inflection year with stronger growth in 2019. But now is the final question I would like to ask you, which is the one concern that you have that is keeping you up at night, starting from Javier. So I'm leaving you just a few seconds to think about this. Well, which is it?
The main concern for the region, I would say, is the region has received a structural shock in terms of lower commodity prices. We're not going to go back to the high commodity prices of the past. I think the region has to understand that it's a structural shock. It has to be responded by structural measures. We still have to see that.
Javier.
Well, related to that, what we saw in the region is an increase in social demands in the last decade. And now these social demands has to slow down in terms of the ability of governments to deliver as governments are going to be more fiscally constrained. So how the societies process this adjustment is going to be key, and I would say my main concern.
Yeah, well, talking about the banking system, my main concern is whether the banking system will be able to support new endeavors. Financial inclusion continues to be a challenge for all of our countries, and well, we will see if in this new scenario things will change or not.
Very well, but thank you all for your comments earlier on stage and now here, and I shall let you go and have some well-deserved coffee. Thank you.